Hello and welcome to the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Evan, Jack and Danielle to the first of this year's Metal Cell forums. How are we, lads?
Not too bad.
Best day ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of you haven't the mic on. It's number 4, Danielle.
Here
Right
I
there.
am.
So I want to dedicate this show first of all to Reid Mullen, the drummer of Corrosion of Conformity, who sadly passed away today at 53. So yeah, that's a bad one, man. He was one of the brilliant drummers of the thrash scene, and he had his problems for the last few years. He's missed a few tours and stuff as well, so still a sad day anyway. It's been a bad month for drummers, actually.
Yeah.
The drummer in Cynic and Death.
Correct, yeah.
Sean Reinert is it?
Yeah. He was. I don't know if it's been released. Why? Either,
Not
but
too sure.
it was only like, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So it was just like 2 days before. That's weird.
Yeah.
And
Colby
Neil
Bryant
Peart.
at the same time.
and the drummer of Rush as well.
Rush, yeah, Neil Peart.
Yeah, Neil Peart.
That
Oh my
really,
God,
that really
yeah.
got me, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So as I
You're
said,
next, Evan. Sorry.
Oh my God! You consider me a drummer? Thank you.
How old are you, Evan?
Yeah, I'll go now. I've hit my peak.
Take one for the team.
So we'd better just give a shout out first of all to Zahora's new single, Coke Vulture.
Yeah.
What about your views on it, Jack?
I have a lot of views on it.
Cool.
No, very impressive. Obviously, there's some differences in production compared to the Eros album, but I think it suits them better. It's more of kind of modern production style, but it captures their kind of raw aggression a bit more.
Yeah.
But then there's still the progressive parts in there. Like it has the kind of airy part before all hell breaks loose at the end
Yes.
with the misery dust for all
what a
refrain.
great line.
So
Yeah.
good.
But, it kind of just the topic as well being more of a kind of a down to earth personal thing that a lot of us can kind of
Identify
in some
with.
way, shape or form relate to.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's ugly in a good way, in a good honest way. Really capture something,
Yeah.
which is cool.
I think the actual, even with you saying that, the actual production, like the production is, and fair play, Aidan did an amazing job in it, but it sounds so much dirtier. Like it's a darker,
Yeah.
dirtier sound than they've had as well. Like I think it's if this is what we're kind of basing it off, it does seem. I think Ruthless Bastard
I
as
was
well
just gonna
does
say it,
seem
yeah.
like some kind of like
Stepping
step.
stone.
Yeah, like that was released as a step
Yeah.
rather than just to go from one thing to another. Like there's
But,
always
like-
going to have that Zora sound. I think that comes with the complexity of it.
Yeah,
But,
like I think, like with Ruthless Bastards, like listening to Colin's podcast on that first of all, he said that they were re-experimenting with all different kind of styles that they liked, and I think they kind of grew from there. Then you can really hear it in Coke Vulture that it grows on to this is what we're actually really good at. We didn't explore that before, so I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting.
What I found interesting as well, because I interviewed Tom last Saturday, he said the whole album clocks in at just under 30 minutes.
Oh,
Now that is interesting for Zahora.
30
I'm
Zora.
I'm
30,
sure they'll still
30
do
minutes.
all of the
What?
ingredients.
Yeah,
that,
it's chock
Wow.
full
Like
of
I only revised
riffs.
the Eros thing today just to kind of listen back because it was a while since I heard it.
Yeah.
It's a strange album. It somehow works,
Mm.
but I think they sound more comfortable now.
Yeah.
That they've kind of definitely kind of settled into what they're like.
Yeah.
What,
It must
as
have
you
been
said, what they're
strange as
good
well
at.
because they recorded that in September 2018. You were saying, Evan, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was actually living with Colin. I remember hearing like the it was a while ago now, like, but I do remember hearing the kind of the rough mixes or like the first or second mixes, and just even like I can't remember even if they play it to me now, it's not I'm going to remember because I
Yeah.
only heard it once or twice, but I do remember thinking like it's a heavier sounding Zora, heavier, dark as well. Like I think I don't think they could have had like a better artwork for it as well that
Oh, the
James
artwork's
did like
class.
that. From what I remember from hearing, and if you're with Coke Vulture, that really does encapsulate like what it sounds like,
Yeah.
you know, and the fact that they are going like a monochrome, like the black and white, not adding the color, like just adds to that the bleakness of the whole thing.
The mood, the whole lot. Yeah, they chose well with James actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
James is doing a few things. Like he's done Boca Tono as well, and like he's
he
just
did a few posters for Baylor, didn't he?
he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a good few posters for Baylor. He did.
What else?
He did one for us as well. He's done loads of things.
Norma Jean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he did one
the
for
Norma Jean one he did, all right.
Yeah, so another talented artist as well. It's nice to give a shout out to. that.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
So congratulations as well. If you notice, he's wearing a Zool hoodie. Congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you very much. I was late.
Tell us how it came about, I suppose, first of all.
With Zool, I think Zool was like when my band played with one of the guys in Zool. They play music all the time as well. I think that like collectively they're in about 402 bands or something. I'm not entirely sure, but met them at a gig in Fibbers. Played with them, just absolutely fell in love with their vibe, like their whole ethos of like just how they see music and what it is. Kind of went back home. We did like a weekender with them, and I remember just talking to them, being like thinking like these are just the soundest, coolest fiends I've ever met. And it was kind of like an ongoing thing because I had wanted to kind of get back into promoting gigs or putting on gigs that weren't my own.
Yeah.
And then just kind of gradually picked it up, talking about it. And I think Nolan got onto me about one of his band's Gas Hands. They were like, look, we have a tour coming up. We're looking for this date. Can you do a Cork date? And I was like, well, seeing as we're just thrown into this now, I'm just going to start doing the Zool gigs with this. This will be the first official one, and then we'll take it from there. And I think from when I announced that I was doing stuff with them, like even just how supportive everyone is great. Do you know what I mean?
Is that the one over Christmas you put on?
Yeah, the one with Gas Hands, Audible Joe's, and Red Sun Alert.
Yeah.
Like it was a great night.
Yeah,
even like
lovely.
just the vibe in the room. Like I think the whole thing. Like I really do want to kind of push even just the kind of vibe that Zool have. It's just so friendly.
You
like.
mentioned as well that they're from Belfast, just in case anybody.
Yeah. The whole thing is like we're trying to kind of bridge. Kind of like just because I've said it before on this that it is hard to kind of get up there, and we're the same country, but it's this whole other world. So I think what my thing right now is what I'm trying to do is just start bands doing like tour packages. Like we have minus 10,000 hours now on the 15th of February, and
Last Vinci, of course.
the Last Vinci, all right, yeah,
And
with
Upon
the boys, and with Appenham there or upon him, whatever. It's like we're going to spend the whole podcast arguing over what they're doing.
A ponium.
It's a podium. It's actually Appennippum. But
So yeah, that's cool, man, and best of luck with it.
I'll need it, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Shorten the road up to Belfast.
Yeah.
It will work.
Or a tunnel or something.
Yeah, that actually brings us on nicely to the next thing, gig reviews. I was only up in Belfast 3 weeks ago for the Elder Druid launch. That was fucking amazing. What a setup up there in the Voodoo. Is it the Voodoo Lounge or Voodoo Rooms? Which one?
Lounge.
Voodoo Lounge, is it?
Yeah, I think it's just Voodoo.
Yeah.
So Lounge
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the one in
Is it just
Dublin, I think.
Lounge is Dublin. I think it's
Yeah.
Voodoo Rooms,
Just Voodoo
but
Room,
usually just people say
Yeah,
Voodoo.
super spot though.
Yeah.
Voodoo.
It was jammed, and all the bands are brilliant. Nomadic Rituals, So Much for the Sun, and Snowmatics as well.
Fucking hell.
And of course, they had the benefit then, Elder Druid, of having a second bass because they could.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
As if they needed more bass.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. So it was.
If you're going to do it right.
yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
Who?
and,
It was Dublin that Two Tales of Woe played on that. They didn't play
Yeah.
the Belfast one.
Yeah,
did they?
that was the Belfast is Friday.
I was
Yeah.
at the Dublin one on the Saturday then.
You had to pull out, didn't you?
We had
You
to pull
were-
out because
yeah.
Ollie had a kidney infection. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that.
I
but
would have
he was,
loved if you just said like, "Oh, Ollie,
shivering.
Ollie had a headache," or
Ollie
something
got
like.
it. No, Ollie got AIDS.
Really downplay it, like it's like, "Oh, Ollie was in a bad mood, like he just woke up and he was like, I'm not driving."
Not away? Was not
No,
Kieran?
he's away now, but
He was there for
He
that.
was around for that, right?
Oh, right. Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering. Jesus, we
Yeah, no,
do
he
a
was in a
tribute.
bad way. I was like, Ollie, stop being dramatic, but he was actually dying.
So did he make the journey up and all?
No, I
Alright.
just went up.
Could you imagine if all the band went to the gig they said they couldn't play to watch the gig?
We're just there drinking pints.
Yeah.
It's like, he's in a bad mood. Just don't talk to him. It's better off you don't
What
talk
was the
to him.
turnout like?
It was poor enough.
Was it?
Quiet enough, yeah,
Fuck.
unfortunately.
Okay,
But
it's
it's,
a shame.
January.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like Grey Stag were on it as well.
yeah. And Sung from a Tree.
And
They're
so
all class
that's
as
a
well,
great
mate.
Sung
lineup,
from a
man.
Tree are
Jesus.
great.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
The
really
sound
good
was
band.
savage as well. Really suited them a lot better. I think even some of the drum fills came out way more in the Grey Stag stuff that I had noticed before. A lot more power to it that suited them. Brought a new dimension to it for me.
Do you think that January had a big thing to play in it? Because it
Oh,
is
yeah.
it is a
Definitely,
very
yeah.
hard month
Yeah,
to kind of
definitely,
to do
definitely.
anything. Like
Yeah.
you'll find a lot of bands as well are kind of they'll do their New Year's post being like, well, we have so much coming
Yeah.
in 2020, but no one has anything posted in
Yeah.
January. And I only noticed that recently. Like there's so many bands that because it's like it seems like that January is almost like a time for preparation with a lot of bands and
Yeah,
stuff.
Just get
So-
rocking
Yeah.
into stuff. But in saying that, it was a great gig for those who were there. And Elder Druid are savage.
Yeah.
Like, they just keep getting better.
They are, aren't
just
they?
The
It's
the
interesting.
sound is just getting more refined and lead parts popping out more. So I think there's more of that on the new album anyway.
Yeah.
But like that Sentinel one, it's just like
it's-
cheeky
Isn't
solos
that
on it.
class, man?
Oh,
I love it.
Cheeky
And it's probably what is it, 2-3 minutes long max?
Yeah.
Probably 2 minutes, and it follows. It's on after Golgotha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
that
Sentinel just drifts
section of the
in
album there.
Fucking hell, brilliant. So yeah, that was me. Any of you go to anything over Christmas?
Yeah, I went
January?
to God Alone in the Kino with
Oh.
Horse and
Horse, I still have to see. that.
and Hope
It's
is
a
Noise.
it's
Hope
a
is
show. Like
Noise. Yeah. I think Horse were on first, and I missed Hope is Noise. Horse were really good. They wouldn't be my type of music, but Jesus, he was well able to get the crowd going by the end of it. And it was my first time seeing God Alone. Would you believe?
what?
Yeah, because I've either
Drunk.
I was like, how am I going to say this
Your
politely?
priorities
Already
straightened
gotten
out.
sick, gone home. Yeah.
There's always,
late.
Yeah, I need to be home in bed. Yeah, for whatever reason, I've never got to see them,
That's fair enough.
and geez, I'm actually glad I waited this long to see them because I really knew the EP really well,
Okay,
and
yeah, that's fair enough.
and I was really able to appreciate it. And I was up at the front going mad. I was like, "You guys are so good." I was like cornering them afterwards. like,
you.
So I can't believe this, and they're just wow, like
But sure, they probably knew you better than you knew them.
they're probably like, that's that mad yoke who's been following me around Cork City.
Oh my God, there she is.
That's her
There
real
she
life.
is.
She's made it to the gig now.
Yeah. It's one that loves us but finally came to a gig.
But Jesus, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
I had a few drinks in me, and I was like,
And
I
you're
have
right
to.
too.
Thank you.
Fair play to you
It's
now.
like, I have to find a way to get you playing at Bloodstock. As if like I was
You're the
going
booking,
Yeah, yeah,
you're
sure.
booking agent there.
I'm just going to call John Bloodstock there.
However, I did actually I follow the organizer on
Simon Hall.
no, the other her
Oh, Vicky.
Vicky, yeah. I follow her on Instagram, and she does this like ask me anything sometimes. So I was like, "Have you checked out God Alone after their Kerrang piece?" And she was like, "No, but I will now." And I was like,
Well,
and I actually, she did another one of those ages ago, and I was like, "How good were 10 Ton Slug on the Sophie stage?" And she like come back and was like, "Absolutely incredible." I was
Can
like,
you be our manager?
"See, there you go."
I'm just thinking when you were saying all that, I guarantee you, like Matt and all the lads are sitting there being like, "No once did you mention Grey Stag after you."
That's what I'm thinking.
The poor boys now.
they're into the semi-finals.
They're into
Stag,
they're into semi-finals.
And
And you
So-
can't
They-
rig it for
they-
them or nothing, no?
Yeah, that's it. Like, you know,
And Arjuna as
as
well.
Arjuna
So
Zai
shout out
on
to them as
the
well.
on the judges'
Both
vote.
got, they got through, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, Arjuna
Unreal.
Zai on the judges' vote and Grey Stag on the people's
Yeah.
vote.
So that was all you saw over Christmas. God
yeah, that was it, just over Christmas. Yeah,
Ev?
I actually saw Pontius Pilate and the Nail Drivers. I know it's not
Love
metal, but I absolutely love them. And it was a free gig in Fred's. Went upstairs. So I kind of was like, it was packed, because I think no matter where they play it, it'll be packed. Kind of was up having an absolute time of my life. Had to piss. Came downstairs. Not allowed back up.
What?
It was that busy. Like, I would have pissed myself if I knew that. Like, you know? But there was like so many people like in the girls' toilets. Like, yeah, I use them. Whatever. I use the upstairs girls' toilets.
Oh my God.
But, yeah. It's like never.
Standards are dropping. Lads.
Yeah.
Standards are dropping.
But I used them to go to the toilet. Like,
That's even worse.
yeah.
That's what we don't want you to do.
Just come out as I keep coming out with my makeup redone. But yeah, they were amazing, and the sound was so good.
So they attract some crowd, don't they?
Oh, they do, and they're just the nicest dudes as well. Like, but they've been doing it for years. I was glad
Ian,
that Ian
on
Walsh,
drums,
yeah, what an absolute hero. His snare, like, I'm not sure what snare he was using, but I think it was a brass one. It's like, I think Pavel told me a story once that in Fred's, like, I think he had like a decibel. Did you hear this?
Yeah.
Decibel monitor.
I didn't know who was it about, but
Yeah,
I
it
remember
was
the story,
Ian,
yeah.
and like Ian just sound checking, like just hit his snare, and like he used the decibel monitor, and it was like louder than
It's
like
113.
yeah, it was like it was basically it was actually illegal for it to be that loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's like
it was
no
louder than
mic
a,
for
a
you.
jet. Yeah, but technically, that everyone that was at that gig that night was breaking the law. So that's pretty cool. Like,
It's rocking.
You guys are cool.
yeah.
What about you, Jack?
Went to the Body Void gig that
Okay, yeah.
Cam put on through Paranoid. It was unreal. They had Dead Nettle family on first, who are local.
I saw the
local
video
lads.
first
Unreal.
time. They sounded amazing.
They're
I'm
so good.
gutted I couldn't go to that.
That's
That's
Leon's-
Leon,
Leon's
yeah,
band,
from Spirit Merchant.
His bass tone is just.
Yeah, he's an animal.
I'd watch him by himself all night, like playing
And
bass.
he's
is.
gorgeous.
Yeah. But proper good psych, you know. Really tasteful stuff that you can just get lost in. And then they had Bismuth on. They've played Roadburn. They're playing it again this year, so
Right.
fairly acclaimed.
Where are they from?
They're from the UK. Their last album there was just like one of those. There's 2 songs on it, but the first one was The Slow Dying of the Great Barrier Reef. So there's just like doom just disintegrating you. It's just a bassist and drums as well. But
Is that it? Just
yeah.
2-piece.
But not just crushing either, you know, really kind of tasteful parts. I think was Ed described it as arty doom, which was kind of
Doom
bang
with
on.
fringes, like.
Yeah. And then Body Void came on, just fucking destroyed the place. Just really, again, doomy, just that kind of saturated guitar tone. But then they throw in these grimy hardcore bits as well, with like really, really good vocals. And they're from, is it San Francisco? I think they're from. So they've come a long way there to play Fred's in January. But Joe got a good crowd, and
They heard you. Jeez.
That's what I was just thinking of the track, like.
I was like, I hope that came across on the mic, because he said, she just went, "Jeez." yeah, this like, as in like the whole way for
from
one
San
gig. Is
Francisco
it?
Fred's.
I can hear her in the back of my ear being like, I'm not letting that go. And I'm like, Jesus, Evan, that's very far.
But we were just on about how far it is.
Belfast, yeah.
Like, so, come on, guys.
One of them had never been outside the States as well. Like,
What?
yeah, one of them had never been outside the States. So I
Really?
was like, chatting to him after. He's like, yeah, "That's my first time outside the States." I was like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
But they loved it. I think they were fairly bait, but did they deliver? And yeah, been listening to him ever since. So
Well, and what kind is it? Still kind of stoner doom?
no,
What is it?
more of that kind of dark shit. With kind of hard, just grimy as you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be stoned listening to this. Like, you know, panic attack.
Trust me.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
You guys are real, right?
Jesus. Yeah, I went to Partland then Saturday night,
Yeah.
and
It's been ages since they played it, right?
like Howard commands that stage, like it's like he's possessed by a demon, and he just
And off the stage, if I saw some of the footage.
Yeah, the mic
yes,
on
he started off the stage, you know, fantastic. There was a really good turnout. I saw Third Island as well, which I was delighted to see. They put in a great performance. Really, they're interesting. They're interesting.
They
band.
just released an album, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I bought the album as well.
You
launch.
supported them,
Yeah.
and I asked, could I go and do your merch?
Yeah.
And you didn't bring me.
We were already on the way when you got onto us.
Because I just finished work, but I just wanted everyone to know that he didn't bring me because I was going to
Excellent.
work for free, and he didn't do it.
Jeez, I'd
So-
say you sell the shit out of that merch, though.
Yeah. Oh, I will. I will. Just out of pure nerves, I'll buy them all, being like, no, I'm good at something.
But yeah, so I was delighted to see they had CDs and the T-shirts and everything.
Mm.
So yeah, well organised
Good
band,
package. Yeah.
which is great. Just getting back to Partland, they played around 3 or 4 new songs and they're just fantastic. The new stuff. That's another big Cork release coming in the next few months. It's not too far
Hopefully.
away.
Mm.
It's an is it an EP that they're doing?
I
Or
would
is it-
imagine so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would imagine so. But I just love that band. There's just so much going on with them.
Did I hear Chris Daly did guest vocals for Jerusalem? I was getting
did.
live
He did.
updates from Tomosco, and I bet you're gutted you're missing this.
Yes,
Thanks,
he did.
Tomas.
Yeah, I ended up half joking Chris as well, but yeah,
Standard.
Chris from Zero, in case
Classic.
anybody doesn't know.
Oh, they know.
So that's the gigs covered. We all
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, I remember actually. Do you know what? I felt bad now. The last podcast we did, I forgot to mention that I was at a Yurt, another Paranoid gig, and they were phenomenal.
Okay.
They were so good.
Is this
Fair
just
play.
before Christmas? Is it?
Just before? Yeah, yeah. I think
Okay.
there was so many gigs on at Christmas that we didn't get to hit them, but it was under a Paranoid Beast gig, and it was phenomenal. Like again, massive turnout. I think Moss and the lads are just they're honing in on that. They know the lads know the good bands to bring, and they're doing it every time. Like
They're staying faithful to what they've done from day
Yeah.
one as well, which
Yeah.
is great to see that their initial objective is working out for them. Like they haven't had to kind of.
they haven't had to sway at all.
No.
Yeah.
And it's. I don't think I've gone to one of their gigs that there's been fuck all people there.
They've had a few quiet ones, but it hasn't put them down, and you see
Yeah, yeah.
they're getting busier and busier, and more
Yeah.
consistently busy as well.
Yeah. We'll stay on gigs there. Did any of you see the TWKOM podcast with Phil?
I did, yeah.
Iron Mountain.
Looked
He came
through a
out
bit of
swinging,
it.
didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, I suppose, what my own opinion on it, for those that had doubts about it, I definitely think he put a lot of people's minds at rest anyway. And he definitely talked a good talk anyway. So you're on that lineup, aren't you?
I am,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Like, obviously, I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't believe and want it to happen.
yeah,
I'm also not going to pussyfoot around it and pretend there's not a load of drama and a load of shit
Yeah.
going on, because there is.
yeah.
I think some of the...
Did you watch the interview?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he kind of address some of those elements?
I definitely think there was a lot of elements that he did address well, but obviously there's going to be people that are going to be looking for a lot more. I think just because there was some decisions made that didn't fill people with faith
Okay.
in it. I think there is a lot of it now that he did. To be fair to him, he did a great job. He's very composed, and again, I'm playing it, so
Yeah.
it's not like I don't want it to happen or don't want.
Yeah.
But I have to call a spade and see that there is reasons for that podcast that happened. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing that he wasn't promoting the festival. He was more just letting people know that it is going to happen, and
Yeah,
everyone can relax and
Yeah.
kind of like just forget whatever previous thing you've heard. This is a thing that's going to happen, and I commend him for doing that, because
Because he's staked his reputation on this podcast.
of course,
now.
yeah, there's a lot of
because he has committed to it.
Yeah,
It's on
yeah.
for them. There you go.
There's a lot of pressure as well. I mean, I think with the festival itself, it was hard to differentiate between the festival and the person running the festival, and I think that was the big problem. Like it amalgamated personality and festival, whereas it should have been, this is the festival, this is what's happening, these are the dates, this is where your tickets are, but there was a bit personal things that were in it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think he's addressed it.
yes, that's the thing.
we'll
I think the fact that he went up and
give him a
actually
lot of
sat
kudos
there.
for that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's not an easy. And I think I saw a comment that he left being like something like that. That's not what Phil doesn't like doing those things. Like some people are not comfortable doing that at all, and that is completely fair enough. So fair play to him for being able to. It does show a level of I give a fucking shit that I'm willing to go out of my comfort zone. In front, he knows that so many people are going to be seeing this, and he's like, "Yes, this is how I feel. This is this is what's going to happen." And to have that confidence to be like, "Yes, exactly," and I think that's what it needed.
Now, it doesn't help as well that it's clashing with Clang Festival. So on that festival, there's the likes of Corner, Acid Rain, Zentrix, Asec, Words That Burn, Sinocence, The Risen Dread, Strangers with Guns. So there's a nice sprinkling of Irish acts on that as well. And there's a bit of doubt about that as well, insofar that it's such a big venue. So
how big is this? Like,
yeah,
how big is that? Is it like someone said like 5,000? Like, is it?
Whoa.
Someone else said something like it's not actually the main stadium. It's in a
Could be
smaller version of
where
it.
they put on like those like games, like athletics and stuff. Is that?
Yeah, something like that. Like I don't
national
like
games and stuff. It's in Tala, I think.
Yeah, like if it's the national stadium, like not to be pedantic here or anything, but like
it's a big one.
That's like, even regardless of Iron Mountain being on at the same time, if this was all force, like if this was everything that everyone was kind of looking at, like if it's that, like I might be wrong now as well by saying, but the national stadium I think is about 5,000. So that's what's making me think that
that's the impression.
An offset of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It like, because can't do 5,000 like.
No.
Like, make no mistake here, we want all these things to succeed.
Of course.
Yeah,
become
definitely.
a regular thing.
Yeah.
But
Look, it's a podcast, that's why I'm asking your opinions on it,
Yeah.
I suppose though, like if Iron Mount Festival is limited to 150 people, it probably won't have that much of a clash, considering they're quite far apart, Leitrim, like geographically. So if there's only 150 people going to Iron Mountain, you'd imagine the overspill of, I couldn't go to that, but I'll go to Clang.
We're also playing that weekend with the Diocletian tour with Gillock.
Where's that at?
So that's in Belfast, Limerick on the Friday and Dublin on the Saturday. Just add an extra spanner into the works.
And lads, just to let you know as well, it's my hen that weekend. Funnily
enough, it's my hen as well.
I was actually going to do Iron Mountain for my hen.
Right.
But there's a few people in the in the group that wouldn't be metalheads.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Just go to Diocletian instead.
Bring them.
Yeah.
It's your hen, it's not their hen.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to do.
Thanks for the advice.
Now, keep in mind now, people have weddings.
Ditches and hedgerows.
People have weddings in Spain, and they bring all their fucking broke mates, being like, "Oh, but it's gonna get married in Barbados. It's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna cost you about fucking $700 or $800, and then you have to drink your own shit." And you're like, "Oh, thanks a
You're
million."
actually being sound by bringing them
Yeah,
to the
I'll bring you
field.
to a field, guys.
€70 now. It's
Yeah.
like fucking.
And bring your own booze as well.
It is, yeah.
Load up the champagne and head up to the hills.
What about the camper van too? Actually,
That's actually one of the girls who's going is camper van, yeah.
yeah. Well, I heard
Never.
going.
So look, we'll have to figure out your hen.
Yeah, thanks. That's for the next. That's
dilemma.
Just
the
have
next.
the
That's the next
4
form.
cans here. Like, doesn't get any better than this.
So yeah, and then there's also another festival after sprouting up. It's the Gathering in Drogheda on the 14th of March, which is the Irish
Ireland Metalheads on. Yeah.
So on that one is Psychosis, Asect, Words That Burn again, The Risen Dread again, Ketos and Witch Kicker. So that's another one. That's Paddy's weekend.
That'll definitely
That'll do well, yeah.
I think out of all of them now, I think with the reach that Ireland Metalheads has that there's no. I think if anyone has their doubt about that,
That's like a
working
regular
or not,
indoor venue, though, isn't it?
yeah. Like it's like I
That'll
mean,
be
like
fine,
it's not to the scale, but again, it is like the first one. But that'll be packed.
I mean, like
that will absolutely be packed.
with everything here, start with kind of maybe not even baby steps, but something that you know practically can work.
Yeah.
Is a high likelihood of working. Like if you look at the Siege, started off as one day. It still is one day mostly, but just a day. But we were even on about there the Simon gig there that the Audible Joes and Baylor
yeah.
It's just a bunch of lads involved, get Spalpeen and put on a day's worth of music. That isn't rocket science, and there's only so many things that can, like, the whole thing isn't gonna have to be cancelled, so I think
I mean, like, everything is
have to start with something like that.
It's laid out for you there. I think the reach that that page has alone will, and the bands as well. Like, I mean, there's great bands.
There's some fantastic.
We
bands
played with because I remember seeing like Asect seem to just play fucking everything. They did the Bloodstock, but we played with them in Fibbers with Baylor sometime last year. It obviously wasn't this year, it's fucking January, but I remember seeing them and just being like blown away.
They're
They're so good. Like, Tony's such a
commands the stage.
He's a frontman's frontman. Like, he does, like, he could do a small venue, and he can do Bloodstock. Like,
I actually seen him at Bloodstock, and they were outstanding, and I was actually watching back the video.
That's right, actually,
I actually watched back the video during the week, and I was like, Jesus, like, I forgot how good they were and how
they're on the money.
Like, how aggressive he was on stage, like, just commanding attention.
I feel like he's one of those frontmen that know, like, there's a level of professionalism with him. And like, when I'm saying this now, there's some bands, and I'm not going to be shitting on bands now, but there's some bands, when I say level of professionalism, I don't want, like, I can't hear you, Fibbers, and then
No thanks.
Like, there's a certain level of, like, oh my god, this is just like, there, you're no matter where you're playing, you're going through the motions of it, like, where you see, like, with him, is like, he fucking believes every single part of that. It's not just like, I watched a few download videos there now, and I'm going to learn these chants. Are you with me? It's like, are you ready?
I might have been bashing a few demos around with Tony as well recently.
Oh, were you?
You might have also been privy to.
Wait a minute. Was that none of your business, by the way?
It's okay.
You can't just put two dudes in a room and expect them
Myself
not
and
to
Richie have a
jam.
secret project too, we don't tell you about.
Go there, so Tony started up, he just kind of threw an idea out there recently about getting Irish musicians together to work on songs, just like people you wouldn't have worked with before. It was kind of
like Roadrunner United.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was based off. And obviously, logistically, it's something that you say, how is this going to work? But I just loved that Roadrunner album. And
the DVD that came with it.
That was massive for me, like, growing up. So as soon as he said that, I was like, sign me up anyway. I said I'd leave it a few days, leave people throw a few ideas around, and I just sent in a song. Then I sent it to you as well. But Tony was kind of interested in that, and then I met him at the Elder Druid gig as well. Okay, I would see it, Joe. We'll see what comes of it. But
I think his idea that he has, like, it's such a huge feat. But, like, I do not want anyone, like, to be shitting on anything. Not that there is, but I'm just like, it's such a huge feat.
Yeah.
But if that happened now, and if you got some kind of, like, I feel like that should be something that, like, the Irish Arts Council should be able to put something towards that. Do you know what I mean? But like, the thing is, some of the fucking shit they've put towards, I'm from Kilkenny now, right? And this is, like, literally what it comes down to me for is have an amazing idea like this. Like, in Kilkenny, it was like the skate park for years and years and years and years and years. And we had all this like, oh, it's going to cost this, it's going to cost this, it's not logistical, blah, blah, blah. Has anyone seen that fucking shitty... remember, we actually, over Christmas, me and Jack went to Kilkenny.
That's right.
And I specifically, I told them all of this, and I was like, right, so they treat like any kind of like alternative thing. Come and look at this fucking shitty statue that they have up. Your man, like, it's supposed to be like a hyper realistic. He
Just
looks
the
like
hurlers.
he's about the hurlers. Genuinely
hanging
looks.
off
Oh, I know
they're
that
hanging
one,
off it. The guy looks like he's after taking about 4 fucking Mitzi turbos, and he's there screaming, "Me, can I get 2 Heineken, please?" Like it's, and they're like
Rough.
the amount that cost would
Yeah.
have put a fucking skate park in so many of the unused handball alleys, and you're like, oh, people literally go by, put up a Instagram video.
But you're
Like,
talking about taking on one of the biggest organisations in the country, which is the GA.
fuck
Be
the guy.
realistic.
Fuck the guy.
Right up. But
But if
Yeah,
you're considering
I'll
like
tell
that,
you
is
that.
it
They're
the
not going
amount
to
of
the
things
subject.
that you can do?
they're
like,
not going to fund this fucking thing anyway.
I dunno.
If you heard the demo.
I don't know. There used to be like but at the same time, like I know back home, like so many bands used to get like it was just a normal thing that they used to get their EPs pretty much done with the Arts Council. It's like I haven't applied for it because I just think it's not going to happen. But if you have this many people and kind of a logistic plan ahead, it's like, you know, if you can't just like text them and be like, you up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It
But
doesn't work like that.
What we were saying about it, Joe, from a practical point of view, because he did say about like, you know, other people mightn't get on board or they think it's a good idea. But I said, you know what, even if we release a single, you know, just get a few lads together
Yes, to
start.
that have their head screwed on, that want to do it, have the resources, and will
I think
commit.
that's the proper way
Yeah.
to go
And
about
we'll
it.
just say,
Yeah.
if no one else is getting on board, we'll just bang out a single, do it
Yeah.
proper, and then if other people want to do more stuff
Yeah.
around that kind of a thing, we'll do it. But
Yeah, because
I'd
I
say
think
just do it
these
anyway.
days, if you hesitate, you know,
Either
You're
do
gone.
it or don't, you know.
Yeah.
So
If
as I
you
said,
s-
we'll
yeah.
do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
If you second guess yourself as well, people will like they will smell that uncertainty.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just keep going with something like this is exactly what I'm doing, they're either going to just fall by the wayside and stop talking about it, or they're going to get on board.
Join in.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
now, are any of you going to Urban Assault? I know you're playing on the Friday night.
Yeah, I'll be going, yeah.
Yeah,
Evan?
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
Fair play
definitely.
to Danny as well.
It's
Now,
unreal.
This is like his
Couple
kind of
of
the last one of them
Swan
as well,
song,
and I
yeah.
feel like he will do. I feel like he'll do very well for this.
Yeah. The lineup is incredible.
Yeah,
Class.
There as well.
absolutely.
I think everybody is looked after in that lineup.
Really,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see Body Drinkers, and we were only
Yeah.
talking about them a while ago. It's like they're starting on the Friday, but it's like Barry English and a few of the lads, and it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
We'll have
Even-
to go on after them.
do you
Are
go right
are
after
you on
them?
After
I'd
them?
say so. Like maybe
You're
right
on the
after
Friday,
them, the
is
next
it?
one after
Was that
them.
with Galak?
Yeah.
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 Did I pronounce that
But,
right?
I've heard them a few times practicing, and they're savage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do sound. They're so hefty. Like,
Yeah, so I have Danny coming on the show to talk about that, so we
Ah,
won't
brilliant.
Oh,
kind of
cool.
dwell
Yeah.
too much. I
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
acknowledge that
Yeah.
we're all going and
Yeah.
we're all looking forward to it. Okay, so we have a plan here as well. It was Jack's idea, so
Dave.
blame Jack.
Blame Dave.
Just putting the
So,
on you straight
just
away.
kind of give a rough idea how your idea came in place, first of all.
Yeah, so I was just chatting to Dave from Galak there one night, and we were just talking about some like new ideas for the podcast.
Which we all
And-
welcome.
Yeah, so just as more of a kind of a tangent to bring in, we all pick an album that we recommend from any place, any time, so
Yep.
just to bring in an external factor, and maybe just put each other out of our comfort zones a small bit, and so we all pick an album each, and we'll pick one randomly out of our skull,
Okay,
skull
so
chalice,
so we all wrote down
the chalice burner there.
Yeah,
Here's the one
yes.
I made earlier.
So we all wrote our suggestions, put them into a bowl, and we're going to pick one out, and
We'll
three will review it.
Yeah,
Obviously, the
we'll
other
review
person
it for the
can't, yeah.
next time. Then.
So, Evan, you do the honours. Just pick out. No looking. Oh.
Well, like they're just bundles of fucking paper. Like that one looks like mine. I know how I crumple things. That's I would be the guy now that put his hand in the thing and take out a fucking loads of white paper, and I take out a black fucking sock thing. Like,
that means it's cancelled.
for those of you that don't have the video aspect. So this is
What is it?
Sod. Speak English or die.
Classic. Okay, so that's Stormtroopers of Death.
I'm
it's-
in.
It's a classic from the early 80s, a mixture of punk, hardcore, trash.
Savage.
It's one of the. It's like a super group basically as well. There's members of Anthrax, Nuclear Assault, Nasty.
I presume it's
and
Scotty.
every song is probably 1 minute to 50 seconds long.
Savage.
Oh, that's
probably-
actually ideal.
There's
Alright,
probably
okay.
two or
Love
three
this.
songs that are over 2 minutes. Maybe
I
3
wanted to get
minutes.
your one because I was like, if you picked some old shit anyway, I was like, I want some of that.
Well, there you go. So
Some
Not saying-
old
not
shit.
Not saying you're old or anything.
Some old shit.
what were you saying, Danielle?
When I first read that, I thought it was like, is he after fucking misspelling the system of a down? It's like there's an A as well, you know. Speak English or die. All right,
Yeah. So check that one out.
Will do.
you're gonna have to say what is it? Because if I search sod into
No, yeah,
Spotify, it probably won't come up.
No, it'll be Stormtroopers of Death.
Stormtroopers
Speak
of
English
Death.
or die.
Should it be stod then?
Whatever. Just listen to the fucking thing and come back to me.
Yeah,
on
but
it.
I need to know everything before I delve.
Try it.
So yeah, so listen, this is it. We'll try it and see how we get on. Now, the main part of the show. So we're going to debate a topic every time that we're on. So we want to investigate the link between wrestling and metal. So that was the task. How did you get on? Over to you, Danielle.
This week on Primetime. Yeah, so I suppose I know a few people who are into metal and into wrestling. It's not something that I would really be going watching.
Have you associated them before?
Well, yeah, I suppose with like, you know, WWF, WWE, do you know, the entrance things are always
Yeah.
metal. And yeah, as I said, a few friends would go to those like mad wrestling nights.
They actually go up
the
to
local
the
thing.
travel.
Yeah, there's local ones in Limerick. The travelling ones that come around, like,
There's
yeah.
two ones in the Kino as well, local
Oh,
productions.
really?
Yeah, I
What?
forgot about that. But
Yeah, wasn't it?
I'd
It's
love-
always-
I haven't been, but it like
it's always hardcore in Cork or something. Was that
Yeah,
one?
like
Phoenix Wrestling?
BYOB stuff, and yeah, just
Yeah.
set up a ring in the Kino and off you go. Yeah, we should all go sometime.
We should,
Time it's
yeah.
on.
We should just rent it out and kick the shit out of each other.
And can anybody come in and do it? Like, no.
No, they're actual wrestlers.
Yeah.
Do you know
No.
the fun fair one?
Richie, what you're thinking,
Sure.
what you're talking about is just general fights. Like. That's
Street
just,
fighting.
it's
That-
anywhere people can just
back
go
in
and
my
drink
day.
and kick the shit out of each other. Yeah,
Back in
yeah,
my day,
anywhere. Right?
Step into the ring.
Grand Parade.
Exactly.
But that's actually something there to think about as well, like kind of because both metal bands and wrestlers travel from town to town, kind of performing in front of small crowds and in tiny venues, dreaming of stardom, you know, and getting to the full arenas where they can use the pyro and the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
entrance. Like, there's a lot there with metal and wrestlers to that degree.
I think there's
Yeah.
a correlation as well of like if someone thinks like say a wrestler or kind of a musician, it's either like you're in the big kind of like, you know, any music thing, you're in the big, same with wrestling, whereas when you start seeing things like on a smaller level, they're almost like taken back, being like, what do you mean it starts from
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bottom and works up?
This
It's like,
is 99% of it.
yeah, do you not
Yeah.
just send in a videotape and Vince McMahon just goes,
Yeah.
I'll take
You-
you.
Yeah.
Is there not no work put in whatsoever? Like,
Yeah, it's very true.
But like, you can imagine that same wrestler that you're on about, like arriving at a ring, maybe the Kino,
Yep.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Metallica, press and play.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
A microphone with a tape deck being like, oh, no, this is the one I want. This is the one I want.
But like, it's a big thing around Cork. I never was aware of it until I started talking to the God Alone lads, who were very much into it. What about you, Jack?
It's one of those things, I think it comes in waves or like cycles. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
remember you said WWF there, like that's what it was called when we were kids.
Attitude era, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like you had was it WCW and you had
You even know the terminology.
ECW.
Yeah, we
I
had
used to
those,
watch it
yeah.
when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to watch it as
And
well.
that's a
as a
lot of
kid.
like I remember as a
At
kid.
games.
So
Cool as fuck,
any
yeah.
research I was doing on this a crazy thing as well. Like fair play to WWE as well is like there's like I don't sit and watch it, but I actually know like
And the fact
Bryant,
that it's relevant to, let's say, God Alone lads there, that's...
Yeah. Like, I mean, growing up, I loved wrestling. Jeff Hardy and like
Hardy Boys.
the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
But like, do you know, that's
Stone
like...
Cold Steve Austin.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
realised? It was that whole era was... And this is like a little thing that I've realised, I'm just kind of trying to delve into it more, is like... Back in the day, there was like... it was almost like the new metal kind of style that was coming in. So if you had like any of the wrestling games, you can already picture like just being on the main menu and just having like the cheesiest, shittiest new metal riff, like jen, like over and over. But now I think what they're doing at the moment is
why were they playing that? Because
I think it was just like the most
it's
popular, aggressive kind of
it's
music.
related to great aggression.
That's
like,
what it is. Whereas now they have NXT, I think is what they have, like NXT, which is what Code Orange did, and the singer of Incendiary. I feel bad for him because everyone thinks Code Orange did it without like where they had something Brent Wyatt, but Brent Wyatt, and like he's supposed to be like this dark kind of character, and like they had Code Orange with the singer of Incendiary playing, and this was a huge deal because I don't think they had done that since
was this
Triple H and Motorhead. Like, do you know what I mean?
Was this an arena? Like?
Yeah, big massive arena, and like I was just kind of reading into it more, and it was the same kind of thing that happened with like, I think it was I was watching an interview with Triple H, and he was saying that like back in the day you get like SmackDown, which was kind of like the almost like the mainstream version where they had like the more of the pop kind of songs on, and then you got like Monday Night Raw, whereas you're putting the heavier. Everyone was coming in; they were darker. It was that kind of it was just
Kane and Undertaker.
Exactly. It was all those the dark.
But
this is you said it. Can I just
started this.
I feel like I need to apologize to you as well because I was like, I don't know anything about wrestling. And then I literally just thought for 10 minutes and I was like, I know everything about wrestling.
I'm an expert.
Yeah, from back in the day. Like, but I think as well, like...
That 90s wrestling does fucking class.
Oh, I loved it when I was a kid, man. I was obsessed with it.
WrestleMania was like super...
I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was a kid.
1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
And I was like, why aren't I allowed to watch it? And then my brother ran into my mum and was like, Danielle's after knocking my tooth out. Wrestling, boof, no.
So he ratted on me and I knocked the fucking out.
See, that's why you're not allowed to watch wrestling. But it was, we had the PlayStation game as well.
Oh, the PlayStation games were just
unreal.
Like...
It got banned from our household as well.
And the PlayStation games obviously had metal.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I don't know which one. I remember Here Comes the Pain, but I remember fucking Fred Durst was a playable character, and he'd come in. Swear to God, man, he'd come in on a car because at the time the Undertaker was rolling, and he'd come in like on a car and like he'd jump up on it, and I was like, just. The most ridiculous shit, roll. Oh, yeah, the red hat and everything. Like, I don't even I don't even think they really like looked at his face to do it. They just gave him like a soul patch and a fucking a backwards cap, and they're like, boom, license.
Around like 99 when Undertaker at his peak and Limp Bizkit had just come out. I think that.
Oh no, definitely it wasn't 99. It was like 2000. I'm trying to think. 2001, because I know when I was at a record shop in Kilkenny, and I remember the only reason I know the year specifically is because on my left I had 2001 by Dr. Dre, and on my right there was Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water.
Classics.
And I was literally looking at it, being like,
which one?
Which one?
I know what I would have went for anyway.
So I got
I
got like fucking Limp Bizkit, and I remember putting it up, coming up to the counter, and like it's up. I was up to my eyes. So like all she like. Thank God we have video now, but like all we have, like all you can see is like just like these eyes, and then just this CD, and I just put it towards her. And she's staring at me, picks it up, and there's just like these naked lads and with a load of fucking hot dogs. And I'm like, she's like, "Does your mom know you can have it?" And I'm like, yeah, she gave me the money. She gave me the money. And one's like, okay. And the very first song is like
flavored water.
But you remember the very first song is like hot dog. It's like there's 46 fucks in this fucked up rhyme, fucked up 8, fucked up chest. Fake ass titties on his fucked up chest. And I remember that my mom was like, "We'll have a listen to this when you get home." But I had my family here, so me and my cousin ran upstairs, put it on, and it was like I'd say 20 seconds into it, and my cousin just put his hand on my shoulder and just went like, "Your mom's going to take this away from you." But she got too busy with fucking life and never listened to my music. Look at me now, Mom!
I think our true
I'm a
colours came
wrestler
out
now,
there.
Mom.
I'm a wrestler now,
True
Mom.
colours. Look what you've done.
And also the relationship as well between wrestling, metal, and horror movies.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
because I mean, a lot of the characters, the Undertaker, the Demon, they're just as vampires.
Yeah.
Do you know?
But the same with Rob Zombie and like all of his films, like
Rob
House of a
Zombie
Thousand Corpses.
Massive, yeah.
What's the other one? Devil's Rejects.
Devil's
I mean, like
Rejects.
they're just so uncomfortable. I love them.
Yeah.
Like,
Even Lords of Salem too, which is more witchy, but it's still
see, I watched that and I felt like it was.
Whoa.
Oh my God,
Danielle,
stop! That's
what's wrong?
scary.
Oh yeah, I can't do
Call the
horror
guards,
movies.
it's scary.
I can't
These
watch a horror
are-
movie.
I'm
No,
all over this. These
no.
are fucked. Like,
Proper
You call
dark.
yourself
I
a
think-
metal fan?
Yeah,
is
everyone's
it
like,
Devil's
what? What's wrong
Rejects?
with
You know
you?
when they just show up to the guy, and it's something about like not needing to say anything.
Yeah.
But like where the girl is just lying in bed with him, is like she's dead, and you're like, you don't just lie in bed with somebody. And then everything starts going in your head, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Love
I think
So
the
good.
Salem one, the newest one,
Yeah.
it was like it was good, but
like
compared
that
to
one.
the other two, he set
yeah.
it so high.
House of a Thousand Corpses is
Was
classic.
yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you
The
go.
gift
There's
shop.
your homework.
The gift shop.
Okay.
If you
Oh,
don't,
gift
you
shop,
don't
yeah.
listen
Oh.
to Stormtroopers a date, watch House of a Thousand.
Do them all at the same time, blaring so loud, like
I'll just become a nervous wreck.
yeah. Just watch the movie in VR and just have the tunes playing in your head over
Also-
your headphones.
Also, another similar, well, not so much a similarity. Yeah, I
Link.
would say similarity between wrestlers and metalers would be the use of spandex.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
I
like a lot of
we
spandex.
have Steel
They
Panther
do.
coming to town.
I was
That's
just-
true.
Yeah. And I don't remember the last time I haven't played a gig wearing spandex.
Pure hair metal. Get your spandex out, man.
Yeah,
And
definitely,
wrestlers,
Yeah.
You could put. I mean, you could
Do actually
relate that to
wrestlers-
gimps as well, though. Like it's very.
Do wrestlers use cod pieces to protect their nuts? Or can
You'd
they-
hope
Oh yeah,
so.
no.
Or is that just
I'd
part of-
presume they'd
You'd
have
hope
to.
so, yeah. not
I'd
not
hope
that I know, but
They're not that big, are they?
on the steroids. man.
Yeah.
It's like whoa. I hope they
imagine
do
so.
because what?
Jesus. I don't know, man. And
Yeah.
of course, then celebrity deathmatch as well.
Oh.
What an amazing Fred Durst is
Yeah.
on that as well. Marilyn
That was,
Manson.
He is actually an Eminem. I think they fought.
Yeah. I remember I had the game of that as well. Very like
Trent
if
Reznor
if you have an
featured.
hour to kill, you'll play the entire game. But when I was a kid, do you know that everyone has like that older brother that is just like a fucking hacking genius? That like he's like, oh my god, we can get I could watch episodes of South Park without putting a disc in, and I was like, what? That's insane. Like he had these games saved onto his computer
Wow.
without having to put a disc in.
Yeah.
And like I remember he did it for me on mine and just playing that over and over and over and over. I've heard so many rumors as well that they're bringing it back,
They might do.
but
Do you know what the best one was? NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys.
that was sick. I was, you know,
tearing the heads off.
that is so weird
literally.
because I was just
So
thinking,
good.
I was like, mention the
But of
NSYNC
course-
one.
Yeah,
Again,
so good.
And I know we're being stereotypical here, but like the
Fuck
metalers
it.
love the violence, the weapons, the brutal attacks
It's part of
on
it.
MTV Celebrity Deathmatch, and again it had
I
the
think
heavy
it's
metal behind
yeah,
it. You know?
yeah. I think as well it's just the complete alternative side of it. Like it's just it's a weird show.
It's like embracing a cliche too, which is fun sometimes.
Yeah,
'Cause people
definitely,
are like, I bet
definitely.
you're like that, and sometimes they're like, do you know what?
I am like that.
Yeah,
I think-
exactly like
yeah.
that.
I think as well, like you go to a metal show, you go to see your favourite bands, it makes you feel really good. You almost feel a sense of relief. Everything in your life is doesn't matter when you're watching a metal show. And it must be the same when you go to a wrestling thing. You're seeing your favourite wrestlers, you're completely invested in whatever storyline or whatever is happening, and everything that's at the door is left at the door. Doesn't
Yes.
matter. And I
You're
think
spot on, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's kind of the connection between the two there.
Yeah, savage.
And both of
Genuine
them are
entertainment.
mainstream, like metal and wrestling, but they're not really accepted.
It's like that
Yeah.
outside. Like
Yeah.
we know you. We know you're big, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, you're still weird.
I think it's one
Yeah.
of those things, like, if you're past, like, if you get to a certain age and if you say you like either one, like, if there's some girls that'll look at you and it's be like, trust me.
Actually, that's a good example of that is I was at Download a few years ago, and they had a wrestling tent, which is actually like WWE.
Oh yeah, sure,
endorsed,
Corey
like,
Taylor and
proper-
shit.
Corey Taylor was involved.
Yeah.
Hold on a while.
Corey Taylor was scrapping at it.
You were camping in a WWE wrestling tent,
No. As in, like, the tent was.
I was at Download,
right?
and they'd have like all different stages and tents.
Okay.
And one of the stages / tent.
in a tent so it doesn't rain on the
With-
on the thing. Imagine him just asleep with the rock.
What
It
a
was like,
fanboy!
rock
I
bottom.
know nothing about
From the
wrestling. Gonna have a wrestling tent.
Oh my god, it's a special move. The snuggle train.
No,
Classic.
they had a WWE thing at Download.
Oh, cool.
What would your wrestling name be?
Oh,
The
I thought you were gonna say
Corrosinator.
move. Coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
Yeah.
Topical.
Yeah.
But,
God, it's very bad what happened to all those people in China.
tasteful.
Tasteful.
Tasteful,
Sorry.
yeah.
What
I
was
apologise.
Richie's?
Sorry, China.
Oh God, what would you have to leave this with me now? I'll blurt it out at the end. Like
Yeah.
we'll be in the middle of a really serious conversation. I'll go, oh, the magic, the magnificent cell.
Oh my god. So that's. I think we've kind of proved.
Yeah.
Do you agree that the fan
Wrestling
boys
is a
and
thing.
fan girls that metal and wrestling
And
are
biscuit.
comfortable bedfellows?
See,
They're-
I didn't like. Not that I didn't realize it, and it's not that I don't agree. It's when you brought this up, I remember being like, I don't know if I can talk about wrestling,
Turns
like,
out.
but it
Yeah.
like it's a nostalgia thing
It's
for
part
me,
of us.
And me,
Yeah.
yeah.
like even online now, like again, like what we're saying with we're getting Code Orange, bands like this now that they're actually starting to do the same thing again, that are bringing like back in the day we had certain like kind of new metal bands that were on like the SmackDown games and stuff, and then they have like Code Orange,
Yep.
whose new song is shit.
Let's not go there.
Do you like that? Do you actually like that?
I'm waiting for the album.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
completely understand what you're saying.
I loved Forever. So
Yeah, I love
I'll be
Forever. I
fucking
love
gutted
Forever,
if
but
it's
that
bad,
song is
like,
shit.
Yeah, I heard it's industrial. and
It's so bad. But fair play to them for doing, like, I mean, like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
fucking
they're
own
obviously
music.
fans because they'd be
Oh,
around
yeah.
our
And
age,
Chris
I
Jericho,
presume.
actually, he's in Fozzy.
Yeah,
Fozzy,
Fozzy,
yeah,
yeah.
he played in
Fozzy,
Cork.
yeah.
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 I think
Big time.
Brian, our bassist, his old band was offered, I might be getting this wrong now, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. His band were offered support with
For
Fozzy. I'm pretty sure he said something about that, alright, and I was like, I don't know if there was somebody away or something, but I was like, I would start a band to support Chris Jericho. like.
And also, one other thing, wrestling figures.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can I just
There you
give a shout out to my dad, who I remember for 2 months I was trying to get a Jeff Hardy toy, and like I to be honest now, I didn't ask for much. I really didn't, and like you can laugh, but I really fucking didn't. I demanded. No, I didn't ask. I demanded. But I remember I used to go up in, like, you're going in Kilkenny, being like, oh, do you have a Jeff Hardy wrestler? And they were like, what's that? A Jeff Hardy Hurley, is it? A Jeff Hurley? And I was like, no, never mind, I'm different, sorry.
yeah.
I remember coming home one day and my dad being, I'm going to have a cry now. But my dad was like, oh, there's something in your room. And I was like, like being the little dickhead that I still am, I was like, there's loads of things in my room. And I was like, you should go up and check something in your room. And I was like, you should go downstairs and check something in the living room. Like, not knowing what he was doing, because I'm dumb, like, but I remember he was like, Evan, go upstairs and check your fucking bed. And I was like, oh, okay, Dad, you never let me wear my hoodie in the summer. Go upstairs, and he just left the fucking Jeff Hardy toy there. And I don't know, still to this day I need to ask him, but like, we asked every single Ken Black, any Smith's toys, just to be like, do you have these? I think because at the time they were just, the Hardy Boys were so popular.
Yeah. They were my
It was like a
faves.
thing like a Furby or a Wii, or if they came in they were gone. But my dad, fair play to him, came to a Worn Out show in Kilkenny as well.
Wow.
Respect.
Funniest thing I've ever seen. And he's because my dad
Look at me now.
my dad
I
put
hope you
like
weren't wearing a bra.
no,
At that time.
well, there was a tour that we're doing, I think, but I just had Baylor written across my chest, in permanent marker, and my dad was sitting there, and I'm pretty sure he wears the classic like dad jumper thing with the shirt underneath it,
Okay.
and he
Yeah.
wore the worn out T-shirt over that. I was like Xander and everyone's just jumping around, and my dad's like, this is great. Yeah, look at my boy. look at him go. Not a doctor anyway.
So that's it. I think we've conclusively,
We conclusively
Prove.
concluded.
yes, proved that wrestling and metal definitely.
Some fond memories.
Yeah.
God, I actually could do it. Now that you said, I really could do like
We've got the
a
connection.
Do
full.
another one.
Yeah.
Now that you've got we should do a nostalgic thing sometime. Like send in the things you remember.
Mm.
Oh, nostalgia.
You got us.
I know Tall John doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's he ever done?
Jesus.
Calling
Anyway,
you
we
out.
better end it up here in case it gets really
I'm calling you out.
too many beats. Too many beats.
Tall John, I'm calling you out
Organises one Zool gig.
Yeah.
on the Metal Cell Rumble.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for turning up tonight. Fair play to you lads. I also want to mention that this is episode 58, would you believe?
Wow.
So I just give you a bit of stats there. So that's 50 hours of podcasts and probably another 100 hours of editing, promos, etc. So today,
Fair play to you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. So today I got 9,000 downloads directly from the website as well. So that's
As in like
direct
downloads or
direct
like
downloads from my website. So
Wow.
So yeah, so that was a good one today. But the only thing is, and that's why I'm bringing it up, is ratings, right? So I have 1 Stitcher rating, right? 3 iTunes Apple ratings and 8 Facebook recommends, right? So for those that are listening, please take a few minutes to rate and review the show on whatever app you listen to. It could make all the difference in attracting more people to listen to the podcast and maybe landing a sponsor for the show as well.
We know
Yeah.
you're listening.
So yeah.
And if you don't come down, brother, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna make you do it.
Do it.
So that's it, lads. So
Fair play.
please add a rating or a review. Be much appreciated.
it's well deserved, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we've all talked about it a million different times, but we're just astounded by like you have a full-time life as well. You do.
Full-time
Like
life.
you have a full-time life. You have kids, a wife, you've work, and you just
And
still
he's good at it.
and he's good at it. He's still alive. You're
He's
great at
good.
being alive, but you still manage
I
to
don't
find the
know how
time
you
to
do it.
go to so many gigs. You still have the time.
Up and down the country.
Like it makes me feel like shit if I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have time to do that. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, like compared you're doing what I'm doing, like it's just fair play. Like
Yeah. Keep raging.
Much love.
yeah.
Keep raging in tonight. Thanks everybody.
Cheers.
And
Thanks.
here's the next one.
Yay.
Cool.